Well, would you look at what we have here? Surprise, surprise. A 2016 F150 XLT. It's here for a couple of anomalies. The customer said that the wipers wouldn't shut off. So they have pulled the wiper fuse. I don't think the wipers work. No, they don't work now. They also said that the radiator cooling fan seems to run...
Channel 1.
Got a two-way radio in it. That the radiator cooling fan seems to run at high speed for apparently no reason. So my scanner detected this is a new vehicle. I've never scanned this before to my knowledge. So we'll create a new record. I've got a battery charger on it. I've got the key on. Pulled the mileage. Let's do a code scan of all the controllers. Key on, engine not running. It's at 13.2 volts. Well, maybe that refrigerant pressure sensor circuit low. Now that could be caused by somebody unplugging the switch. Apparently the sensor, apparently he's had multiple places looking at this problem. So somebody may have unplugged the pressure sensor thinking that it was, because it's not a current DCC. I would think that if I turn the AC off, the radiator cooling fan shouldn't run. Well, that's the end of the scan. Run accessory controls short to ground or open. General failure in the radio. Wiper motor module bus signal message failure. Now that would probably keep the wipers running. Steering column control module. Well, that might affect steering wheel controls if it has that. I don't know if it has steering wheel controls. I didn't look. Well, let's clear all the codes because I've got a record of this. And do a key on engine off test in the engine control module and see. I gotta switch the ignition off. So I had a quick look at the BCM or smart junction box under the right side of the dash, the right A pillar. I didn't see any missing fuses, but according to this, fuse 13 is the fuse for the steering column control module. Now that works. Well, I don't know. The steering wheel controls work, like the radio volume, seek scan, and the menus. Now let's see if there's, well, let's take note. Fuse 13, F13, maybe I'll just print this. So let's see the other diagrams for the actual wiper motor, where it gets its power from. Battery junction box. Well, I briefly looked in there, but I didn't look that close. So fused 45, I'm going to have a look, see if that's missing. So fuse 46, not 45, which is a 10 amp, is missing. So fuse 46 is this one right here. Now, I put a fuse in there, and the wipers cycled once, because I have the key on. Now I have them on delay, the first step of delay, and they are okay, that's high, that's low, no, that's delay, that's high. Sounds like we need a blade. So, what was the problem with the wipers? They wouldn't shut off. I gotta ask him if they were running on low speed or delay. Now, we did have a problem with a fault code related to steering column control module communication. This does have steering wheel controls and they seem to work. Didn't mention anything about the cruise not working. The radio volume works. The radio reception is terrible. Inside the shop it doesn't pick up anything. Well, I'm going to explore that fault code. Now the wiper switch is in the 0 mode, which is off. And unless it was a courtesy wipe, because Ford does that after. See, why is it in delay? Because the wiper switch is in off. Let's see if it does it again. How many seconds does it take? It's like the switch is in delay, the first step of delay, but it is actually off. Yeah. So that's got to be what he's talking about. The wipers are wiping for no reason. Let's see if we got fault codes again. Okay, I'm going to do a network code scan again. Key on, engine off. See if we've got any network communication fault codes. Run accessory control circuit short to ground or open. B1131F -14 in the BCM. Same code in the tire pressure monitor, which is actually the BCM. Steering wiper motor module bus signal message failure. That's got to be why. B1131-08. Usually if something relies on communication and the communication network goes down, it'll activate the device as a failsafe mode. For instance, if the headlight switch is bused to the total integrated power module and the network goes down, the headlights come on low beam by default, so you'd have lights to drive. But I'll have to do some investigating. So I'm starting to wonder if this is in the steering column control module, but it's not a lack of communication with the steering column control module. I'm wondering if this wiper motor is LIN bused to the steering column control module, and that's the circuit that has a problem. So let's look up this B1131-08 troubleshooting chart. So here is the troubleshooting chart. There's no cases on this code. Bus signal message failure. Refer to wipers and washers. It's going to take me to the same one. Steering column control module, bus. Go to pinpoint test B. I like it better when they tell you what causes the code. Place the wiper switch in the high speed settings. Place the wiper washer switch to the off. Do the wipers operate with the wiper washer switch in the high setting? Yeah, they work in high. In low. If not equipped with rain sense, go to pinpoint test E. I don't know if it's got rain sense. What is the RPO code for rain sense? Place the wiper washer switch in the low speed setting. Observe, do the wipers operate with the wiper washer switch in low speed? Yes, they do. So if not equipped with rain sense, go to pinpoint test E. Let me see if I can see a sensor. So I don't see any kind of a sensor on the windshield. Go to E. Inspect the vehicle for a rain sensor. Well, it just asked me that. No, go to E3. Place the wiper switch in the low speed setting. Observe the windshield. Place the wiper switch to the off position. Do the wipers operate when the low speed setting is selected? Yes, go to E4. which is right here. With diagnostic scan, steering column control parameter identification, front wiper intermittent, data 1, data 2, data 3, data 4, data 5. Well, let's have a look at the data. This is why I hate troublemaker charts. So, low and high work, and the various steps of the delay seem to work. It's just like it's stuck on delay. You can hear it squeaking because the wiper blades are so dry. It says, using a scan tool in the steering column control module, view the following parameters. Using the diagnostic scan tool, view this switch parameter identifications. Well, here's what I've got. Front wiper commanded low speed is off. Front wiper intermittent data 1 is on. And the switch is physically off. Let's go back here and says, do the parameters correspond correctly with each setting of the switch? Well, no, they don't. Install a new wiper switch. I'm not convinced. But that would make sense. Test the system for normal operation. If the concern is still present, install a new steering column control module. Yeah, let's just throw a dart at it. And of course, if they did correspond, then change the wiper motor. I'm going to see if there's any cases on this. So when I do a keyword search for wiper in Identifix, I come across this case where it says the intermittent wipers go on and off on their own while driving. The wiper motor was replaced with no change. Trouble code B1130F may be setting in the steering column control module during a self-test. Well, we did have a B130F-14 in the BCM. Well, let's see what this case says. Before extensive testing, unplug the multifunction switch from the steering column control module. Plugs directly into the steering column control module on this model. Now drive the vehicle and verify the problem is gone. Let's have a look. Where is this multifunction switch? The steering column control module must be in the steering column. Remove the screws in the steering column multifunction switch. I suppose I could call Ford and see if they have several in stock. That would be a hint that it's common to fail. I'm going to do some more research. So just got off the phone with the dealer, and they have 4 multifunction switches in stock. Imagine that. He said they do sell them, quote. They're reasonably priced. I think it was about 150 bucks Canadian. So I'm going to pull the trigger on that because it's not a huge challenge to change. And I'm going to also explore this B130F to see if that's related. Well, it's easy enough to change the switch. There's 3 5.5 millimeter screws under the trim underneath the steering column. Take those out. Then there's 2 T10 screws that hold the switch in, just like this. And it just slides straight out of the steering column control module. Now I see there's white, it looks like silicone grease on the connector, but I also see some telltale liquid. That's some kind of liquid. And I wonder if somebody spilled something on this switch and it's shorting it out. Because often for the various speeds, Ford's had a history of using stepped resistances. Now I know that this is a little bit more sophisticated, but I'm going to try blowing it out with some brake cleans and see what happens. Got nothing to lose. So there are two T10 screws that hold this circuit board into the switch. I already sprayed it with brake cleaner, but I decided to take the circuit board out and look in there. I'm going to clean it a little bit better, put some new dielectric grease on it. By the way, I've had the key on with the last 15 minutes now cleaning this switch. I put some fresh dielectric grease across it and on the sliding contacts on the other side of the circuit board. And the wipers have not cycled, so that would strongly suggest that this switch is sending a request it shouldn't be. So I plugged the switch back in. It is in the off position, and turned the key on and the wipers wiped once. So now I'm waiting to see if they're going to wipe again. I'm going to have a look at that. Well, I don't have to look. So obviously that didn't fix it. So we're going to park this outside and wait for the new switch. So the question remains, will changing that multifunction switch, wiper switch, cure the B1130F-14 code? So I thought I'd explore that while I'm waiting for the switch to show up. And scroll down here to B1130F-14, run accessory control circuit short to ground or open. It says refer to wiper washers. So let's click that link. And it says B130F-14, run accessory control circuit short to ground or open. It says if the windshield wipers are inoperative, go to pinpoint test A. Well, they work. They just run on low speed delay for no reason. If the windshield wipers operate with the ignition off, go to pinpoint test D. Well, they don't do that. So where's the option if the windshield wipers only partially work or work when they shouldn't? I like this. Diagnostics in this manual assumes a certain skill level and knowledge of Ford's specific diagnostic practices. Yeah. I think I need the diagnostic dartboard. Plug and pray. Swaptronics. So they definitely don't operate with the key off. So we're going to go to pinpoint test A. Let's see what it suggests. Using a diagnostic scan tool, carry on the BCM self-test. Using a carry does 130F14 set. Yes, go to A5. I already did this. Disconnect the wiper relay. Carry out the component test on the wiper relay. They want you to test the wiper relay. Why? Go to A6. Does a wiper? They like to do component level testing of the wiper relay. We're going to assume that it does. Clear the DTCs and repeat the BCM self-test. Yes, it sets. Go to A7. Check the windshield wiper relay coil voltage supply circuit for an open. This is doing nothing but increasing the billable hours, which you have difficulty justifying. I'm going to wait for that switch to show up, plug it in, clear all the codes, and then see what happens before we get carried away here. So here's the new wiper switch. That's the part number, but check with your parts department because there are several different versions. Goes by VIN. This vehicle does not appear to have rain-sensitive wipers. So you can see the wiper switch is in the off position, the old one. And I'm going to turn the key on. You notice the wipers wipe one wipe. So the switch is indicating it's in delay. So to pull the switch out, you take those two little screws out and you just pull the switch straight out. And then we just plug the new switch straight in. Don't even need to install the screws. Just plug it in like that. And let's turn the key on and see if the wipers wipe. And they do not.
Channel 1.
So let's put this back together again. Okay, so we're going to clear the codes out of this thing. I'm curious of whether this run accessory control code will return. Engine, codes menu, clear codes, yes. Exit. Oh, I was just in the engine controls. I need to clear codes in all the controllers. My mistake. Too many modules. I also want to look at the data in the steering column control module now and confirm the operation of that switch. I'm sure it's working fine, but I just wanted to record the normal data PIDs. I think there's 22 modules in this vehicle that the snap-on scan tool gets into. This is crazy. Oh, my headlight came on. Okay, so that's that. I gotta switch the key off. So I'm gonna go into the steering column control module and do a key on engine off test. I don't know if it's gonna wipe the wipers or run the washer or something. Used to do that with the BCM self-test. I don't hear anything happening. Well, that's a good sign. It's working fine. Let's see if that BCM code came back. Body control module. Codes menu. Key on engine off test. Verify the key is on. Yeah, the horn works. Parking lights are coming on. Daytime running lights are coming on. I didn't see the tail lights came on. Driver's door ajar. Oh, I have the door and the hood open. So we are going to disregard these codes. That's operator error. You're supposed to have the driver's door closed and the hood closed when you do this. Otherwise, it'll trip fault codes for that. Now, those codes don't show up in memory codes because they're key on engine off generated. Otherwise, it would be setting a code every time you open the hood or the driver's door. Those are just, it was expecting those two things, the driver's door and the hood, to be closed during the running or the key on engine off test. So changing that wiper switch to fix the BCM code and the steering column control module code. That's it. Hope that's all there is to do on this vehicle. Thanks for watching.